Whether you're a new blogger or a seasoned professional, here are 5 really dumb mistakes that bloggers keep making and how to avoid them. Hello kitties and welcome back to my channel. My name is Rogan and welcome to another episode of this Bahamian Gyal. So many of you who are familiar with me or watch my channel know me for traveling around the Washington DC area or my native Bahamas, but very few of you know that I'm actually a lifestyle and travel blogger. In fact, I've been blogging since 2017. During that time, I've made some seriously dumb mistakes, and today I'm going to help you avoid making them too. This episode is for those bloggers who want to level up their content, gain a bigger audience, and get some money in the process. So I recently attended a blogging seminar held by the Blogging Union and got an opportunity to hear from another travel blogger and marketing strategist by the name of Marissa Daily. During her hour-long presentation, Marissa confirmed a lot of things that I'd learned along the way, but she also dropped a lot of sparkling gems that I had absolutely no idea about, and I just could not wait to share them with you. Now, while her content was geared towards travel, it's applicable no matter what niche you're in. So here's the countdown to the top 5 really dumb mistakes that bloggers make and how to avoid them. Coming in at number 5, believing really silly myths about being a blogger. I don't know about you all, but this is like something I've heard, and Marissa touched on this and I was just like hallelujahing in my chair. How many of you have heard this? You need about 10,000 followers before you can approach a brand. Oh, you need to spend thousands of dollars in expensive equipment and latest technology in order to have a high-class channel. This is one of my personal favorites. Why are you getting into blogging? I mean, the market is already incredibly saturated. Like, what are you going to offer? You need to quit your job in order to be a travel blogger. If you've heard anyone say any of those myths, just know that they don't know what the heck they're talking about. Personally, I've seen girls that I know who have 4, maybe 5,000 followers on Instagram who've gone on to secure lucrative brand deals. You know why? Because they're very targeted in their niche. They have extraordinary engagement with their followers, and they have followers who cling to every single word they say and do what they say. That's influence. Also, these girls are able to hold down regular 9-to-5 jobs while pushing out tasty, digestible content. And I can tell you, not a lot of them have fancy, expensive equipment. One of the girls that I know, she uses like the most broke down camera you could ever possibly find. It's not about the most expensive cell phone. It's not about the most expensive camera. It's about finding your light and having excellent, tasty content. Your content is king, not your gimbal. Coming in at number 4, not establishing your mission. Your mission is everything. It's your base, it's your core. It's why you do what you do. Most bloggers figure out if I get my domain, if I get my name, if I get it on WordPress and I start writing, that's all there is to it. But what's the drive? What's your mission? Why are you doing this? You'd be surprised how many people operate without a mission, the very thing that keeps them on track. I remember when I first started blogging and the intention was, I'm just going to write for me. I'm just going to write for me. And I'm just going to put all my stuff out there. I'm going to write for me. I'm not writing for anybody else. That was so stupid. My thought process is this. If I'm just writing for me, then why am I spending all this money on hosting? Why am I spending all this money to GoDaddy for my domain? Why am I spending all this money on apps? Why am I buying equipment? Why? I should just go get me a diary, start writing in my diary and call it a day. I'm writing for you. I'm writing for me, but I'm writing for you, the audience. And so I have to act like such, and I have to make sure that I'm always on mission and doing what needs to be done so that my audience is being connected to my content. You have to have a mission, end of story. Coming in at number 3, and this is a bad one too, not building a community on your platforms. One of the things Marissa talked about is choosing 2, maybe 3 platforms that you really want to dominate. And I'm in full agreement with that. I think she has 2 that she really focuses on, and I have 2 that I focus on, excluding my blog. But you have to create a community. You can't just post and go away like I do sometimes. Listen, I'm one of those people, I was a very late adapter to social media. I was like, I don't want anybody in my business and I don't want to be in anybody's business. Like I have no interest. So I got into it like super late. And even now, I have to kind of push myself. This is the introvert in me. Push myself out of my shell to communicate and to have some sort of camaraderie with the people online. You do yourself a great disservice and you do your blog a great disservice if you want to push content out there but you don't want to be social. It's called social media for a reason. One of the things that I really appreciated that Marissa said is that you shouldn't seek to be everything to everyone. I could not agree more. It was just like me and her, we were like twinning, I swear, because this is something I've always said, even to like my fellow bloggers who will contact me and ask me for some advice. I say, you're trying to be everything to everyone. There are subscribers, for example, on my YouTube page who want me to do certain things, go certain places, and more often than not, if I'm really feeling it, I will do it. But sometimes subscribers come, for example, and they have ideas for what I should do on my channel, and it's not something that I really want to do. And I will politely decline or just say, I don't think that's me, or I don't think that's something that's going to resonate with my audience. And that doesn't go over well. They either respond negatively or they unsubscribe. And to be honest with you, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just trying to be me. I don't take offense to it. I just realize that I'm not what they need and they're not a part of my tribe. Building a community also means engaging with somebody else's content meaningfully. And I'm going to use an analogy here. Imagine that you invite someone over to your house, right? You have a new friend and you invite them over to your house. And they walk in and they are so floored by your house. They're like, oh my God, I love your high ceilings. I love your wooden floors. I love your pictures on the wall. I love the way you decorated this way. And they're just loving you and they're just liking everything that they see and they're giving you feedback and it makes you feel really good. And then that same new friend that you met invites you over to their house and you step out of your car, you look at the house and you go, oh, it looks really nice. And then you hop back in your car, start the engine, and then you're gone. What's that about? That's what people do every single day on social media. They may follow someone that they really admire and then they get so engaged and wrapped up in their content. And sometimes the person who is being followed will decide out of obligation, well, let me just check out their page. And then they might like a picture, or they might leave a comment, maybe. Sometimes they just go to the page and then they just bounce. And that's not fair. You're not going to inspire a sense of community. You're not going to really get anything from that person. Now, granted, you may not admire their content, but there's a way to give people feedback too, especially if you're new friends, especially if that person has been gushing over your content. It's important to have those connections online. You don't want to be disrespectful and you don't want to lose a supporter. Also, in this category of building a community, you want to make sure that you're posting with a purpose. Again, maybe it goes back to your mission statement, but why are you posting? One of the things I never do, or I try not to do really, is to post when I am extremely tired, I'm frustrated, I'm just feeling like blah, I don't have great ideas. That's not the time for me to write. Now, I've disciplined myself that even when I'm tired to an extent, I can still push, but I think when you're refreshed, that's like the best time to post, because when you put out lazy content, the person who is reading it can tell. Either it's too short, it's shoddy, it's not applicable to their lives or what they're going through or whatever. You have to make sure that you're always hitting the mark with people. So be very cautious about the content that you post, and especially with blogs, because a lot of people don't, they want to make sure that their blog is constantly updated. I'm one of those people, but I think you have to make sure that whatever you put up there, you feel proud of, and that you're not just throwing stuff up on your blog just as filler. I don't ever want filler on my blog, and I don't want it for you. At the same time, you want to make sure that your content has legs. So repurpose your content so that if you are putting something on YouTube, for example, you're making sure that it's going over to your blog page. And also you can use it on Instagram or Facebook if Facebook or Snapchat or whatever, whatever your preferred platform is, Twitter. Make sure that you're repurposing that content for those social media platforms as well. Coming in at number 2, not pitching to brands properly. If you are ready to pitch to a brand, know that there is indeed an art to the pitch. Marissa talked about the perfect anatomy of a pitch, and she actually shared a real world example with us. And I'm happy to share that with you, but you're going to have to go to my blog to see it. So make sure to go to www.thisbahamiangyal.com. And trust me, you will want to read that pitch. But beyond the fact that you want to make sure that your pitch is interesting to read, that it's grammatically correct, it's professionally written, it's courteous, you want to make sure that you are pitching to the right person. And I know for a lot of people, it's very hard to get their hands on the proper person or the proper email, but there are some ways that you can do that. For example, if you're going to reach out to Procter & Gamble, or you're going to reach out to Target, a lot of these companies typically have a media contact page, and you can go there and that's where you'll see who is the PR person or who is the marketing person. That's where they're always going to be listed. Now, let's just say for some chance, the person you need to reach is not listed on that page. Well, there's another option. And I learned this is what I love about going to these seminars, because you do learn a few things. And some of you may know this, but I did not know this. So for those of you who don't know, here you go. You can go to Rocket Reach. Rocket Reach helps you connect directly with the right decision makers using the world's largest and most accurate database of emails, and direct dials. By the way, this is not a sponsored post, but it could be. Call me if you need someone to talk to. And coming in at numero uno, number one, oh my God, please get ready for this one. Ladies and gentlemen and everyone else in between, for the love of God, please, please, please stop putting your rates on your rate sheet. Never, ever, ever, ever do that. Don't ever, ever do that. I have never done that. I need you to hear exactly why from Marissa herself.
They want to do a little bit of like tweaking, but you can't tweak if you already sent them your rate, right? So I like to say, and then also that does not account for exclusivity. They say, hey, you're working with a whiskey brand, you can't work with any other whiskey brands for 6 months. That's a different rate. Price goes up, baby. Like, on top of that, like, it also doesn't account for whitelisting. If they say, hey, we want to whitelist your post, for anybody who doesn't know what that is, they want to go behind your post, they want to boost it and push it out, push that content out over socials. Like, they want to put paid advertising. I wish I could explain it a little bit better, but I hope you guys understand what I'm saying. You're giving them advertiser access to your account. They're going in the back end and pushing it with money, okay? If they want to whitelist, you might charge a little bit more. So never put your rates in your media kit ever until you know what the scope is, what the timeline. If they say I need this in 1 week, okay, that's expedited timeline. So don't ever undercut yourself by putting your rates in your media kit. It's not worth it.
This is something that I have cautioned against for years. And over the years, I've had so many bloggers call me or email me or DM me and ask me, how do you set your rates? And I had to send this person my rate. And like, what'd you do that for? I just want to punch them. What'd you do that for? You don't send these people your rates because it locks you into something. Let's just say, for example, you told someone you could do a sponsored post for $250. What if their budget was $1,000? You think they're going to be like, our budget was $1,000. We really should go ahead and give Rogan that $1,000. They're going to say, Rogan only asking for $250. That's what she going to get. $250. Bam. I would be more than happy to do a follow-up video on that if you're interested. And if you're interested, please put the word rates with a heart emoji down below in the comments section if you want to see how I set my rates and how I go about that. I'd be more than happy to share. I'm not going to tell you exactly how much I charge, but I will tell you how I go about it so that you can kind of follow my method and set your own rates. Anyway, it was good to hear Marissa address this at the seminar, and I want you all to hear what she had to say along with what one of my fellow bloggers who was in the audience had to say about this as well.
Yeah. So I have a question about pitching in your rates. Something that I struggle with is that it's more like a gifted collaboration, and sometimes I'm not up for gifted collaboration depending on the deliverables. So like, what's like the best way to pitch in your rates or like tell them, hey, I can't do this for gifted?
I love that. All right, I'm about to give you guys a script. Dear Sandra, thank you so much for reaching out about this collaboration opportunity. I love Fabletics. I don't know if anybody works for Fabletics. I'm just using it. I love Fabletics, and I really think this will resonate with my brand. Given the time, resources, and conceptualization that goes into creating these deliverables, I wanted to ask if there's a budget for a compensated collaboration. Period. Thank you so much. Looking forward to your response. Send.
Anyway, there is so much I could talk about the dumb blogging mistakes that we bloggers make. And I say we because, trust me, your gal has been there. A lot of times you're learning by trial and error. But I think once you've had those trial and error moments, like, you don't repeat that same thing, you learn. And it's so good to just, like I said, go to conferences and to talk to fellow bloggers and ask them questions so that you know where you're going wrong, what you need to be doing, and how to move forward. So if you like this type of content, I usually do content on the Bahamas and Washington, D.C. But again, I am a blogger, so I like weighing in on these types of topics as well. And if you like this type of content, please let me know down below, and I will definitely do a part 2 because we make plenty mistakes, plenty dumb mistakes. Okay. So leave a comment down below letting me know if you enjoyed this video and what you'd like to see in my next video. And thank you so much. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at This Bahamian Gyal, on Facebook at This Bahamian Gyal, and on my blog at www.thisbahamiangyal.com. Don't forget to go to my blog so that you can see the anatomy of a good pitch from Marissa Daily. And be sure to follow her too. She's here on YouTube and also on Instagram, and she has excellent, tasty, digestible content. I'll see you guys next week, Wednesday at 1 o'clock. Love you. Mwah. Bye.